Blockchain and AI, innovating data science space or disrupting data science space. So I don't want to say too much about this. Let me give you a quick intro to Ankesh Tiwari, our eminent speaker for the day. He's a product manager with Sterlite Technology. He's a mentor and an entrepreneur. He has 11 plus years of experience in leading, managing, and mentoring teams in data analytics for both product and service focused organizations, such as Oracle, IBM, Amazon, IDEA, to name few. And he is an expert in big data, deep learning frameworks, Hadoop, etc. He's a much sought after mentor who enjoys coaching and training youths in new age technologies, which are without much ado. Ankesh, we are so happy to have you here with us. Thank you for joining us and welcome to the session. I'm handing this over to you.
Thank you, Menika. Thanks for the introduction. So I'll quickly share my screen. That would be the best way to start. So very warm welcome to everyone. Good evening, guys. How are you doing today? I hope after office hours, you would be doing great. Well, so as Menika gave a brief about today's topic of discussion, which is blockchain and AI innovating data science space. Now, before we go through, or basically we go through this particular topic or understand the topic, let me just give you a brief expectation. As see, we are not going to get into more of the programming perspective. The overall webinar would basically, how I drive it is, it makes it an interactive discussion, because that makes the essence of a webinar. And as far as the title is concerned, blockchain and AI innovating data science space, or blockchain and AI disrupting data science space. So there is a satire in it. Few people think that it's disrupting, few people think as innovating. If you ask my perspective, I still find it to be innovative. But moreover, I would leave it to you guys. What is the take? What is your thought process, which we can discuss it even after the session. So the major takeaways which you would have in this after this session is how blockchain and AI. I have purposely used the word disrupt just to make few people happy who thinks that it disrupts it. Still, but I go ahead and think on the innovative part of the data science space. How does it do it? We would discuss about the convergence of the blockchain and AI and data science. Now, AI and data science both are very similar. So it's like data science is this, AI is the subset of the data science. So though we call it differently, down the line in the session, they are one and the same thing, even if you would understand that. And we would basically see how from the industry perspectives, the technology is transforming the industries. We would take one example of the telecom and a glimpse of fintech, since blockchain with AI is more into fintech, healthcare, and government. But still, people do have notions that how it can be used in telecom. So I would just give you my piece of idea how it could be used with 5G coming in. But before we really jump down into blockchain and AI, whether it disrupts or innovate, the first thing which we need to ensure is whether what is blockchain, what is AI and data science. Now, a typical definition, you can easily get it. So like blockchain first and foremost is not Bitcoin, though Bitcoin is one of the is the reason for blockchain to come in, but it has nothing. So blockchain, let me tell you guys, and let me make it very clear for those people who still have a notion that blockchain is concerned with a cryptocurrency. Blockchain was brought into by a cryptocurrency, but it does not restricts itself to cryptocurrency. It's nothing but a peer-to-peer distributed ledger, cryptographically secured transmission method. So I'll make it more simple. So as compare in the layman's term, if I say blockchain basically is a distributed ledger framework which ensures that the data transmission happens in the most secured way. And what is that ensurity way is by having the consensus of majority of the peers like miners or nodes or your overall major of the computing system. So, and if you go down to the typical definition that is flashed up on the screen, artificial intelligence. So if you speak about, so if you move ahead towards the definition of the artificial intelligence, what artificial intelligence is. Again, artificial intelligence can be described in many ways. I describe it as art of computer in systems to think like humans, to basically imitate the human intelligence, like visual perceptions, speech recognition, decision making, or translation. So you would ask up a question or think about it, if at all, is how does visual perception, speech recognition, translation works on? So if you just see across, just besides yourself, you would find a lot of examples. So like translation, Google Translate is one of the best method. Google Translate is one of the best method, which is an example of translating languages. So let's say I might not be very conversant in any of French, but I'm quite decent conversant with English. But if I want to translate into French, if I want to see certain things in French or French to English, Google Translate. Speech recognition, your Siri in case of Apple, or Cortana in case of Microsoft, or Google Assistant. And the most important thing where artificial intelligence is used is visual perception. And the most simplest example is your face recognition ID. Whether you use Android, whether you use Apple, whether you use Windows, you have that face recognition. That's the in thing, right, guys? And so what does data science is? So if artificial intelligence basically is the art, then what does data science is? Data science is mother of everything. Where there is data, incorporating artificial intelligence, machine learning, analyzing the data by implementing statistic, mathematical calculations coupled with technology in terms of Python or R, that particular embodiment is data science. Data science, in the simplest way, is used to extract insights and information from the data. Okay, so guys, a quick check. So are you guys clear till here with respect to the definition before we move down to the relationship between blockchain, AI, and data science? Okay. Yeah, great. Thanks, Apurva. Great. So let's see how this particular relationship happens. So blockchain, AI, data, all three different technologies, niche technologies. And if you speak about how they are related, if we happen to accumulate all the technologies, I have included IoT also, the intersection of blockchain, AI, IoT basically gives rise to data science. This could also be presented in another way, wherein data science becomes the mother and all these blocks comes into within data science. But this is one of the way we can define. So blockchain also deals with data. AI deals with data. Data means algorithm being implemented on the data. IoT itself, whether you speak about sensors or whether you speak about embedded system, data is always there. So cumulatively, in the best, simplest way, if someone needs to basically define what blockchain, AI, and IoT, or the relationship between data science, blockchain, AI, and IoT, this is one of the best way you can define. There are other ways which I told you. Okay. And if I happen to describe it in a more syntactical or textual way, well, as I was saying a few minutes back, blockchain and data science both deal with data. Data science analyzes the data for actionable insights, while blockchain records and validates, which means data integrity, security. Both make use of the algorithms. It should be noted that to govern the interactions with various data segments, both you make use of the algorithm. It's not that in blockchain you don't write. So the smart contract of the blockchain is easily governed by AI. One such example, so what is the best project example? We would see about it on a diagrammatic bus, but I'll tell you is Project Sophia. How many of you know about Project Sophia, humanoid? How many of you know about humanoid Sophia? Can I have a quick answer? How many of you know about humanoid Sophia? So there is a very deep relationship. The humanoid Sophia is the combination of AI, data science, and blockchain. A practical example. How it is the diagram which we would see. But if we happen to go with the statement, so data science is used for prediction and blockchain is used for data integrity. That's how they complement each other. And that is the reason why I say, and I believe is blockchain and AI, or blockchain and data science, blockchain does not disrupt, but innovate. Okay. So if you see about how it is, so this is how it is. Now, what happens is that this is one of the combination of AI, where AI and decentralized app, they both interact with the smart contract and the nodes over the blockchain framework to basically perform remote procedure calls or any other functions. Video sensing, video analytics. How many of you have heard about something called Signet Protocol? How many of you have heard about something called... I would answer that question, Apurva, in some time, because I believe when we go through this session, you might get the answer automatically. But still, if you would have it, I would give you an answer. So please, it would be great if you can have just wait and watch how things unravel. Okay. Sure. So how many of you had heard about Signet Protocol? First, tell me that. Signet Protocol, how many of you have heard about it? A quick, not heard, okay. How many of you come from a background of AI, ML, or data science? Any of you guys come from that background? Any of you guys that come from that background? Yes, yes, okay. So Udayan, Pooja also comes down. Priyavada, no, okay. Data science student, okay, okay, right. Now, Signet Protocol, guys. Signet Protocol is that protocol which is used in Sophia, and it is a protocol of communication used in AI. Now, do you know what the interaction between the decentralized app and AI happens over a Signet Protocol, and that's the binding thing. That's the binding thing. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. This is the particular Project Sophia flowchart diagram, where the Sophia does image and video processing services, understands the languages, performs the data analysis by text summarization, sentimental analysis, basically provides data set as on the data set which is provided as a background knowledge. It trains the other data set. It basically imitates and learns from the human how they behave. And this is the flowchart it does. And this flowchart, specifically a video analysis and AI node. AI node is the combination of AI and decentralized app which we just saw. And that happens over Signet Protocol. Clear till here? Are you guys clear? Does this give you a significant clarity over how AI and blockchain is working in Sophia? Humanoid Sophia, is it giving you guys? Yes, no. Yes, no. So, no. So, what happens here is kind of, okay, I'll just make it more simpler. Your data, this part, AI and decentralized app before the smart contract, this is responsible for any video analysis, sentimental analysis, or any analysis which a humanoid would do. First thing, which obviously is incorporate smart contract to basically govern and the learning. It is AI node also which is responsible for analyzing the data set and running the application, and it is the decentralized app of the blockchain which ensures that all the learning happens without an error. So that's the simplest way I can explain you. If you ask about decentralized and app and smart contract of the blockchain, that becomes something which is basically introduced if you go down to the blockchain level. Sure, right. So the AI and blockchain integration, basically, this is the integration diagram where we have something called decentralized app, which is a component of blockchain, and artificial intelligence algorithm, which is a combination of data science. These two interact over a protocol, which is an invisible protocol or a logical protocol. I would not say that, but that protocol name is Signet. Now, what does this do is, so whenever, so if I'll take you to the flow chart, so whenever the video analyst, or let's say if Sophia has to perform image and video processing services, then it would capture all the video clips from different sources. It would basically place it at a location algorithm, and it will analyze and crunch the data. The decentralized app component would ensure that all the information are intact, secured, and integrity maintained, no tampering happens. An AI algorithm will train and ensure that Sophia gets enough information with respect to how human behave. That's one of the simplest way I can explain you how AI and blockchain works in Sophia. So Bright, I believe, does this give you certain clarity? Bright? Great, great, great. How about others? Munir? Priyamvada? Yeah, great. Apurva? Great. Now, that's one of the project which I wanted to speak about. There are other projects also, but before we jump down to other projects, and specifically the telecom world as an example, there are few use cases one should remember. So there is a very basic question still prevalent in the market. And if you ask anyone, they would say, we don't think. So the typical statement which would come from majority of the people is, blockchain is there is no such clarity, and there is no such use case. Use case is the term which one would hear is of a blockchain in data science. I would not contradict him. I would not even say that you are wrong or right. But from my perspective and from the exposure which I have, there is a vast use case of blockchain in data science, and I've tried to accumulate it in order to explain what are those. So first is data integrity. Data integrity means data which is recorded in the blockchain are trustworthy. Why? Because they undergo a very stringent verification process. So the quality is maintained. The second use case is prevention of malicious activity. So the malicious activity is what? Create to the data network, sort of hacking, or basically hacking a node. Node is what? A physical server, which can change the data, but with respect to blockchain and its secured, verified verification process, it becomes difficult, rather I would say near to impossible, to basically even do certain changes. Why? Because before that, the node which basically gets hacked or tampered starts acting abnormally and is expunged from the network. Blockchain is also has been used in predictive analysis, and with 5G coming, it is finding its more usage to get variable insights into the behaviors. When I say predictive analytics, then your question would come, so if we are using blockchain for predictive analytics, why data science? That's a typical question anyone would ask. Well, when you use blockchain for predictive analytics, it does not mean you do not use data science. You use data science to analyze the data and get the insight. The blockchain ensures that the process of that analytics or algorithm gets fastened, or the execution becomes faster, more trendier, and more secure. That is what it means by predictive analytics and making predictions. The other use case which I can talk about is the real-time data analysis. Real-time data analysis, blockchain has one of the most important and strong use case in financial and payment system, which makes it competent enough as it has allowed real-time cross-border transactions across the country in a faster way. The simplest example is paying through Bitcoin and basically getting the credit through Bitcoin. That is one of the case of blockchain, which is more prevalent, and that is the reason why banks started adopting it. There are a lot of banks which have signed for blockchain and AI, we would see that HSBC, Credit Suisse, State Street, and obviously I would say other banks like HSBC, Credit, MUFG. Sorry. Blockchain also helps in sharing the data in a secured way. How? So whatever data which blockchain gets, it gets stored in blockchain network. And with blockchain and the tokenization system, it becomes easier to get the result. So you'll get the last link from where the data has traversed. So if you pick any of the link, or let's say if you pick any of the output of the link, then what would happen is that you would get how the data analysis happened, or you can easily share it. So what is that you save? You basically save the repetitive process of data analysis, because someone would have carried out, but some team would have carried out, has placed it in the network. You just need to go to the network by using the links of the blockchain and retrieve that analytical report and use it for further analysis. So that is called managing of the data sharing. So these are few of the use cases of the blockchain in the data science with respect to data integrity, preventing predictive analytics, and real time. So any questions on this, guys, before I jump? Any questions on this? Yes, Udayan, blockchain still maintains a record of transaction like a ledger. Book of record is, I would call it in a layman's language. Any questions on the use case of the blockchain, or should I move ahead? So I'll move ahead as there's no questions. Okay, I have questions here. So people are asking questions, but they're asking in chat window, it seems.
Sorry to interrupt. Please ask your questions in the Q&A window. In the chat window, we might miss it.
Okay, never mind. So as we move ahead, so we saw the Project Sophia thing. One of the most important use case which I would like to present here as an example where blockchain, data science, and AI work together is in the telecom is this. This is called Telecom evaluation sheet. How many of you guys are from the telecom background? How many of you guys are from the telecom background? Guys? How many of you guys are from the telecom background?
You can show by a raise of hands.
Okay, great. So Mukesh, you are. So you would easily understand. So in telecom evaluation unit, this is what happens. So we have these days we have payments, billing, revenue, RA, which is revenue assurance, fraud management, ticketing, product catalog, partner, sales service, customer, roaming, interact, revenue, ensure. So this is the typical way of use cases wherein we can use, where blockchain and AI together has found a very innovative way of managing the telecom sector or defining the telecom evaluation unit. But still there would be a question in your mind, guys, is how can we say that blockchain and AI will go hand in hand and innovate telecom? Well, the answer is in the next slide. So what does telecom value chain comprises of? A typical network infrastructure connectivity for voice, data, media, and other related services, which means if a telecom value chain talks about infrastructure and connectivity, which means there is a data exchange between network. And if there is a data exchange between network, then we cannot rule out that there has to be a call of data security and data integrity along with inspection and fraud. And if there is security and integrity and inspection and fraud prevention, then blockchain has a wide role along with data science, where data science not only will bring the insights of the data, but blockchain will support data science to ensure that there is no erroneous data which is being presented during the analysis. So the accuracy of the analysis is accuracy of the quality of the analysis is good, great, 99%, 100% is some ideal condition. And on top of it, as we all know, there is an advent of 5G coming. So with 5G, there would be new flavors of the network management, new infra sharing models. How would basically blockchain help? So with respect to network management and infra sharing, data science would work. What would be my network performance, metrics, KPIs, ARPU? But how will blockchain help? Well, blockchain will help in lease management data for telco, ensuring the data of the network data integrity of the network partners, enterprises, mobile virtual network operators, and OTT players. OTT players are what? Uber and other Ola, Swiggy, and all those stuff. So you might not know, but they also consume the data and do your user persona. And maintaining that data integrity from the data science perspective has started becoming a challenging task, and that is the reason why you would see that you would basically hear, if you would not have heard, and if you do an exploration, that data scientists have started moving also towards blockchain, getting the flavor of the blockchain to maintain the overall ecosystems of the data and the insights. Blockchain also helps in operations like business supports, partner management, supply chain management, SLA management, improving efficiency, building new business models. But the question is how? Well, by simplifying the process. For example, in a roaming partner settlement, generally the process takes about a month. And if there is an issue, if let's say if a person is roaming and if there is an issue, which is basically being faced by the user in the roaming, the overall resolution takes about months. But blockchain, now why it takes months? Why? Because the data does not come at a real time. There is a lag. And data analysis again takes certain amount of time. Then the analytics, insights, predictions. So cumulatively, considering the amount of data which is generated every second, it takes months. Blockchain, with its process, how does blockchain work? Since it works in a distributed ledger framework, it simplifies the real-time views. It basically it makes the data analysis faster. It distributes the process of the data analysis within its network. Not only that, with the help of the smart contracts, it automates. It has the capability to automate the SLA agreement and gives the real-time view. So the whole objective is it streamlines all the historical data and near to real-time views to real-time view in a dashboard, giving more insights in a faster way. That's where the blockchain and AI basically complements each other, or I would say data science complements each other. Apart from that, it helps the telecom to generate revenue. Why? By basically simplifying the process of know your customer, KYC, by ensuring that since it allows decentralized storage of the reference document, it ensures that these documents basically are not misused by anyone. So it maintains a complete control over the individual. And trust me, if you can put up a control on these documentation and digital identity, you make an indirect revenue. It might not be direct, but there's an indirect benefit which comes up. Then blockchain also ensures faster mobile games, payments, digital sharing, which is a part of the revenue building of the telecoms. This is one of the on the top of the shelf use case within the telecom sector, which eventually people have not adopted it fully. If you speak about Reliance Jio is working very aggressively on towards it. So if you open up any of the leading newspaper, you would see that. And they are working really aggressive towards this digital identity and mobile games and payment mechanism and handling their OSS, BSS and network analytics. Other telecoms, they are slowly and steadily, they're moving towards adopting it. In near future, it would innovate the world. Any questions still here, guys? Okay, I'm not able to open this question answer window, so I'll take up the question once we discussed it. Okay. With respect to other sectors, fintech, it has a major role in the operational risk management. to ensure that anti-money laundering does not happen. There's no direct risk of fraud recognition or data security, and specifically loan sanction, there is a compliance attached to it. So that loan sanction compliance is not tampered. One of the most important case which led bank to adopt is one. I believe everyone would be aware of the Nirav Modi and Vijay Mallya's case, where how the loans were sanctioned, the compliance were basically overridden, and since there was no such mechanism wherein there is a decentralized authentication system, this was made possible, which led to the scenario which we are into. But after that, all the international and major banks started adopting it because and automating all these sanction things. Okay. These are a few of the banks which I was talking about: a Canadian Investment Bank, Credit Suisse, Barclays, HSBC, State Street, Mitsubishi UFG Bank. These are few of the banks which have signed for blockchain and AI. Obviously, data science, I would not rule out that fact. And there are other industries, if you ask for, who would basically, who are interested in blockchain, are retail and e-commerce, Amazon. Manufacturing, so in manufacturing, you have major automobile sectors. Healthcare, Pfizer, not the IT company of Pfizer, but PFIZER, Randstad, and Procter and Gamble. Government, even our Indian government, they started using blockchain not to generate cryptocurrency, but to basically automate. Which governments? Your NIC, National Informatics Center, and your, let's say, INP Ministry, which is not Intelligence Bureau, but Information and Broadcasting Ministry. So this is how, this is what I basically wanted to discuss, guys, about how blockchain, though people say disrupts data science, but I believe, and I still believe, that it does not disrupt it, it innovates it. So with this, I would basically conclude my discussion point here, and I would open the forum for questions. I see a few questions coming up, so for that I have to stop the sharing. Okay, so there is an anonymous attendee which is more preferred language for data science, R or Python, or is it advanced Java? Whoever has asked this question, the answer is Python. Pooja Trivedi has asked up a question, banking. So I didn't get your question, Pooja, so I'm not very sure. Sumit Singhal says, I see two challenges in using blockchain and AI particularly. The blockchain concentrate more on current state of data. Retrieving previous data will be little slow. Scalability and TPS is still a little challenge as far as blockchain is concerned. Well, Sumit, I would not agree to you 100%, but I would not disagree to you also. First and foremost, retrieving previous data will be little slow. It will be less than little slow, but it will be slow. That's the reason why blockchain and AI together is in innovative stage. Scalability and TPS is a little challenge. It's not that challenge these days, which I have seen it in Geo when I was working. So I would not agree to your second point. But more or less, the whole objective out here is with innovation. If you speak about from the telecom perspective, then with 5G coming, you would see a lot of things. From a banking perspective, blockchain itself has brought in so many changes within itself with using the word with the help of hyperledger or smart contracts or decentralized apps, wherein I would basically say that these challenges literally in a practical scenario does not occur to the with an impact as highlighted. So Sumit, Pooja, I didn't get your question, I'm sorry, but whoever is the anonymous attendee and Sumit, I believe your questions are answered, yes or no. Please confirm on the chat box. I would never say that blockchain will eventually take over data science. I always say that blockchain is an innovative, complements data science. It does not disrupts. That is my say with respect to my experience. That is what Srinivasan, that is what I was discussing and we were discussing, right, Srinivasan? Collecting data integrity, security, right? What is the scope of data science in banking? There is a lot of scope of data science in banking. You have a lot of data in banking. In today's world, there are two only major sectors, bank and telecom, which has so much of data. So you have a lot of scope in data science. Means, if you could elaborate your question more as into what do you intend to say when you speak about scope of data science, Pooja, I would be able to help you out in much better way. So Bright, I believe I answered your question. If not, you can ask me again. Guys, I have opened the forum for the questions. Feel free to ask. Pooja, if you could elaborate with a specific thing which you are looking for, I would be able to answer you better. But with respect to your question, there is a lot of scope of data science. You have data science in banking, in your retail wing, in your investment wing, in your loan wing, in your product wing. If you speak about Credit Suisse, so in Credit Suisse, you have data scientists are required in, for example, HRMS. Then it is required in retail investment. Then it is required with wealth management. These are few of the things which I remember. So how big data is related to blockchain? Uh, First and foremost, big data is nothing but a data in a huge, with a huge size collected in a huge cluster. So wherever there is data, integrity comes into place, security comes into place. So blockchain comes into place. Munir, does that answer your question? Yeah. So Munir, and people who thinks that big data is a technology, let me just give you, though it's not a session of a big data, but still I would like, but it is a session of data. Big data is a concept which talks about data. Which one would be a flourishing and sustainable career in future? Data science or blockchain? I would say data science plus blockchain, not or. Because blockchain basically is supporting data science. So Munir says, we can big data plus BC plus DS together. We can learn big data. Yeah, you can learn. Yeah, I have okay, you have posted your question, right? How is big data related? I believe, Muniva, are there any successful implemented blockchain solutions in India? Reliance Jio, Bharat. Data science, okay. Devas, I'm an engineering student, but not much. Hey guys, I'm sorry I didn't look at the QA window because most of you guys were pinging on the chat. So Devas says, I am an engineering student, not much into data. I want to explore, learn more, and willing to make my career. How should I start it? Okay, one way is basically getting enrolled into any of the data science specialized course. And if you want some details on the course with respect to IPL, I can request Menika to help you out on that, Devas. I hope that answers your question. Priyamvada, actually I'm from a service design and design led background. So I want to know how blockchain is being used in this. I mean, data is the key for any service. Yeah, data. So Priyavada, you have actually answered the question which you have asked. Okay. So service design and design led background. So whenever you do any sort of designers, I would call it as, if I'm not wrong, designing is done on the basis of certain pattern of the data. I hope you would agree. And that pattern of the data, it becomes very uh, necessary that pattern of the data is not tampered. Blockchain is one of the way to ensure it is not. Does successful blockchain implementation eliminate the broker parties like banks, Uber, Airbnb? Broker parties are not Uber, Airbnb, and banks. Broker parties are the centralized people who sits in banks. Uber and Airbnb, Bharat, are OTT player. So their payment would happen over a blockchain using crowdsourcing or crowdfunding. Do you have any other example related to retail e-commerce apart from supply chain? Amazon invoice transaction report until the development until the delivery happens. That is maintained and ensured by blockchain. Sumit, what is the prerequisite for starting with blockchain and data science? Now, blockchain and data science are two different technologies, Devas. For data science, As I believe someone else was also asking the same question. They were you were only asking the same question. So the prerequisite is that if you can understand the data warehouse part, how the data looks like, a little bit of any of the programming languages, that is fine enough. That's how I would say. Are there any real life implemented example in India? There is no real life example okay, rolled out in India, but implemented, yes, Reliance Geo Payment Gateway, but it has not been rolled out to public. So that is the reason why I would say it is implemented in India, but not rolled out to the public. Venkat, I understand that, Pooja. In fact, that's the case with everyone. So what will be the salary if we have skills of this? Ah, uh, with respect to salary, Munir, it will be something above the average, above the standard of the industry. I would refrain myself from quoting certain figure. I hope you understand. Which blockchain platform is widely used in outside? Hyperledger, Venkat. Specifically, if you speak about, if you speak from the platform perspective, it is Hyperledger and Composer with Playground. If you speak from the language platform, then the answers are two. There is one a language called Solidity which is used, and there is another language. It's called Python, a part of Get client. When you basically do the command, you have to have a platform of get. So Python is used. So these are two answers from different perspectives. Is there a specialization in data science that will make one more specialized in blockchain? And how long does it take for one to be expert in blockchain? 1 minute. Okay, 1 minute, Bright. Which one? So which one from language perspective, Venkat, you are asking, or from uh, Solidity and Python? So there is not one, there are two. And so they, like, few people, so out of 100, I would say it's 50-50. Blockchain Council of US does the international certificate. I am a blockchain certified certified expert. For artificial intelligence and data science, you can do a specialization. There's nothing called certification. Specialization from Stanford and Harvard. And for artificial and data science, I believe IPL has also tied up with something. So with respect to the link where all you can get, I will request Menika to post it or share it with you. Is there a specialization? So now I'm coming back to Bright's question. Is there a specialization in data science that will make one more specialized in blockchain? There is no explicit specialization of data science which would make more specialized in blockchain. Blockchain happens to be one of the module in data science, Bright. So I would not say that if you learn Python would help you obviously in data science and also helps you to understand Python of blockchain, but blockchain overall is a different ecosystem, right? Okay. Which industry has more scope for development and improvement using blockchain from project perspective? If you ask of today, Devas, it's telecom and banking. If you ask as of today, 2019 and going forward from 2019, telecom and banking. And if you ask why telecom, answer is 5G. 5G is going to generate huge amount of data, and integrity is going to be very costly and the most important thing along with insights. I hope that answers your question, Devas. Any more questions? So if you guys don't have a question, how did you find this discussion? How was your experience with respect to uh, okay, Munir, I would again repeat it. International certificate, blockchain council. Okay, let me write it for you. Blockchain council, USA. For AI and ML, it is Stanford, Harvard, And now IPL has also started it. So Munir, I believe I pinged the answer to your question in the chat window. Does that help? I pinged it to everyone. Great, great. Thanks, Sudhir. Thanks, Sumit. Oh, Munir, guys, you cannot see it. Oh, I'll just ping it again. All the panelists, I have all the panelists and attendees. 1 minute. Munir, now you can see it. Go right inside you. Thanks, Sudhir. Thanks, Sumit. How about others? How did you find the session, guys? If you ask me, Bright, yes, unfortunately, it will be hyped and buzzword. That's how the market goes. We cannot do anything. Thanks, Pooja. Thanks, Mukesh. Thanks, Bright. Uh, Menika, if you are there, you would like to pitch in here?
Yeah, sure. So thank you, everybody. I hope all your questions are answered. And if you have any more questions, you can write to us. Or Ankesh, is it okay if they reach out to you on your LinkedIn?
That's fine.
So that's perfect. And you can have a look at our web page for more information. We do have some programs on data science, but we don't have something very specific for blockchain as of now. So I would suggest you take Ankesh's suggestions on that. So thank you, everybody. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Ankesh, thank you so much for such an engaging session. We hope to host you again soon.
Thank you.